Good to see you, man.
Good to see you too, dude.
Mom says hi.
Tell Mom I said hi.
And Dev, it's great to meet you, man. I have never had a chance to interview you before. I love your work, man.
Thank you.
So it's good to talk with you both. Man, this movie, intense, I don't even know if that word fits. It's beyond intense. It's based on true events. This really happened. How do you prepare for roles like these?
Well, we were lucky because we had a rehearsal period in Adelaide with Anthony.
Yeah.
We had like 2 full weeks, which is such a luxury that you just don't get very often on films. Like 2 weeks of sitting in a theater with Anthony, working on scenes, blocking things out. And Anthony really approached it like a documentarian almost. So he had news footage, he had interviews, he had first-hand accounts that were written as memoirs. He had all this stuff. So when we got there, he just gave us binders and binders full of shit that we could just devour. And that was really helpful.
Yeah.
Were there times though when you, as you were filming this, did you ever pause and think like, wow, people went through this. This really happened?
It's like a constant reminder, man. It's like, you know, when there's an urge as an actor to go a bit diehard or do something heroic or pitch something a certain way, you constantly step back for a second and think, no, this actually happened, and you're taking the thrill away from it and just grounding it in humanity and pain and fear. All our compulsions in this film were out of fear, and that was kind of the tone on set in a way.
How do you cool down from like when you're out there, you're filming like your days, you're filming scenes. I'm not going to ruin anything, but you've got some crazy scenes, dude, where and you know what I'm talking about. Like, you're laying down.
Yeah.
How do you cool down after something like that?
Alcohol.
Yeah.
We would normally, at the end of filming, go to the gym right after we wrapped just to get out that
He
sort
would
of
drag
energy.
me to the gym.
Yeah, come on, we're going.
And
We're going.
I
We're
would
going.
kind of be limping out as he's bounding. Right.
And then we would go to the gym to just like work that out, and then we would go to a restaurant and have a good meal.
You had a perfect opportunity to plug your bakery again. He used the bakery down the street from me in Texas.
Yeah.
You can say we had desserts, which you could find at.
Yeah, Bird Bakery, everybody.
Our last interview that aired, everybody was like, dude, I'm going. So
Good?
I know
All
see?
right. So here we go. Let's do this again. All right. So Bird Bakery, you can find one in both San Antonio and Dallas, and soon Denver. But you know, it's Texas's nostalgic bakery. Everything is freshest, finest, from scratch, made by hand every day.
Do you know how many people reached out to me and said, Dave, I'm on my way. So I'm selling your stuff right now.
I'm gonna give it. Okay, next time you get free baked goods. How's that?
Awesome, just cookies.
Done.
I'll work for cookies.
Done.
Every actor, when they do a film project, you learn something. And I'm just curious, we'll start with you, Dev, and then Armie. What did you learn by doing this role, playing this role?
What did I learn? God, it's so hard. I kind of went away from it quite. I needed like a regeneration. I was withered and it was just tiring and hard. Look, I made amazing friends. The cast was, together we just stuck through this and had an amazing time. You know, you get to explore a space that is truly traumatic. You know, in the news, you're seeing shootings there, shootings here, and it kind of, in this world where everything's so instant and fleeting, you know, nothing really settles. Then you go back to eating your breakfast. And when I say opportunity, but it's probably the wrong word, but when you have a moment to really explore something like this and put audiences in one such event, you know, one mass shooting for 2 hours, where they really get to understand the nuts and bolts of something, that's when you realize the sheer terror of what happened, and you get to truly admire the humanity that sprouts from it and the goodness. So, you know, I was very moved, and above all, there was a big disgust in what we can do to each other, but it reinstilled a lot of faith of actually how we can also help each other, you know?
That's a really good point that you just made. These things happen, like these shootings. I mean, look, it just happened in New Zealand. Like, these things happen. And from an outside perspective, I don't know if it's that we're calloused or if that it's just that we don't have the attention span to actually process it, but we just go, shit, a shooting. Oh man, that sucks. But we don't actually, because we've never been through it, know how traumatic it is and how just abhorrent and violent and vicious it is.
Yeah.
And this is a chance for people to see that. To
this
get
film
the perspective.
pummels you, man. It pummels you, and I think it should. Like, it should. because
maybe
you need to
maybe now
shake
someone will
people
watch
into
this
action. Yeah.
and go, oh shit, shootings are worse than I thought. Like,
Yeah,
just
exactly.
because you
Yeah,
don't have
yeah.
that perspective, you've never seen the inside of one.
I will just tell you, you know, there's a cliche about when you watch a movie and it's edge of your seat thrills. I literally found myself going like this several times in my seat.
Yeah.
I was watching it with my mom, and both of us were like just so, I mean, involved with this story. It's so emotional. So my opening question to you both is, how emotional were these roles for you to play?
Oh, I went through, like most of the people, went through twice. Once by actually watching the event. I was there in Mumbai when this happened. I was shooting about 8 kilometers from the place. So the 3 days of trauma that we went through, and then meeting the patients, meeting the injured people. But reliving that whole thing as an actor was emotionally exhausting. And also made me feel I think I'm a better human being, because when you go through the same emotions which you sort of see that in a detached manner, I think that's what the magic of this film is. It will make you a better human being.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that with me and telling me about being there. Well, I'm going to get more of that here in a second, but same question for you, the emotional aspect of playing this character.
It's traumatizing. I mean, there's no other word to describe it, but you do come out of it feeling inspired that we can grow and we can be better people, and that change is possible. Because, you know, sometimes it takes the darkest in human nature to bring out the best in us. And I think that this film, really is, you know, these characters are the personification of that. These are everyday heroes. They're not Hollywood heroes, for lack of a better word. You don't look at them and think these guys are gonna, you know, overcome. They're just regular people, and that's the beauty of the film.
I thought
I'm
that
sorry to interrupt on that. Yeah. And they also don't know the ending of the story.
Right.
You're right.
Yet they are trying to be brave. They're being.
And it brings out the best in humanity, which you kind of touch on, because you don't know how you're going to react in that situation. So that being said, the day that this happened, there at the hotel, did you realize, I've never been, thank God, involved in anything like that. Yeah. But what was going through your mind?
So before that 93 blast had happened, where they had planted 10 blasts, 10 places, 272 people had died. So we're just recovering from that. And this happened, we thought the rumor was that it was a gang war that was taking place, and they were shooting a gang war. And then the fact that every single person, I knew people whose relatives had died. I knew the general manager of the hotel who lost his wife and 2 young kids. So horror, it's like, it's horror which you think this is a TV thing that we are watching. But no, it was not. And it was not. And it made you numb, to be very honest. It made you numb.
Did you guys get to go back to the hotel while you were filming, or did you get to visit it? I know it's since...
yeah, I mean, obviously you're based in Mumbai, so you've been. I did visit the hotel. I just wanted to get a sense of the grandeur and the, you know, the atmosphere, and we, several of us, I don't think Anupam was with us that day, but several of us in the cast went to the Taj to have breakfast, brunch, and all of a sudden the lights went out, everything went dark. And I remember we were all in abject fear because we felt, oh, what's happening? And the wait staff all flocked to us. Are you okay? They were so caring, so compassionate. And I remember thinking, wow, the tone of our film, the way that these characters, the staff at the hotel are being portrayed, is spot on. They were so caring, so attentive, and you know, they put themselves before the guests. I mean, that's just how it was.